Richard, we've talked depth so much. How do you go into a game with a rotation in mind, with something down on paper? I mean, or is it just a matter of feel for you?
I think it's got to be a little bit of both. For the most part, it's how we work during the week, how we prepare, how the guys prepare, who shows that they're ready to go into a game at any time. That's kind of and that to me that's kind of a feel, you know, how the guys on the field are playing. If the guys on the field are playing well, then you're going to kind of let them roll.
I guess with that said, do you like what kind of the rotation you've got into the first couple of weeks? And it seems like Rashid's the guy that doesn't start but has played a lot of snaps in both games.
Absolutely, yeah. He's done a tremendous job preparing each week, coming in the game. He's executed at a high level. So he's kind of the main one. Victor Colors got in a good bit. So just trying to roll those guys as much as we can, try to stay fresh.
Everybody's stepping up in competition this week at all across. When you look at Georgia Tech's defensive front, where are you expecting? What kind of challenge do you think the offensive line's going to have?
Yeah, I think their defensive front's tremendous. They do a lot of things up front that create problems and issues that you got to make sure you're working, and you got to be prepared to go into it.
Kind of going along with that, obviously you've had a year now in the ACC, you've kind of seen what the conference is like. I guess what did you get out of last year in terms of the D-lines that you guys faced, and what do you kind of see this year from some of those teams? Georgia Tech, obviously Miami is kind of up there, you guys will face them, even the Clemsons and the Boston colleges.
Yeah, I think in this league, I think any time you go into a game, it doesn't really matter who you're playing. It's you're going to get their best. I think the competition in this league's tremendous. I think each week you got to show up, you got to play, you got to go execute.
One of your guys is having trouble pass blocking. How does that impact what formations you run and when?
Yeah, I think if somebody's struggling because of a matchup or whatever it is how can we generate some help and help those guys and take a little pressure off of them.
Michael's been around for so long. Obviously, the whole time you've been here and back here. What does he do to kind of be consistently good out there? And the line can make so many you can make a mistake here, a mistake there, but it seems like he's consistently every game has been really, really good.
Yeah, but Mike's a guy. He's very self-aware, so he tries to be a perfectionist in everything he does from a technique standpoint, and he knows if he's struggling in a certain area, how do I need to make adjustments? How do I need to correct it? He works extra at it. It's extremely important to him, and I think that shows in his play.
What do you feel confident as far as a number? Like you mentioned Vic and Rashid. Is that confidence at 7, and then maybe talk about that next group and who's right there?
Yeah, we got Trevante Sylvester that comes in and does a good job for us. Renato Brown, who's played a lot of football, who's still we're trying to get him back going up to full speed, and I think right now where we're sitting in a good position. We just got to continue to push and continue to work to get better each week.
During a bye week, Jeff was talking about he gives a lot of the younger guys some extra reps. Is that kind of the same approach with the offensive line to get those freshmen, those redshirt freshmen more snaps and availability time?
Yeah, coach does that as a whole. Try to get all those young guys extra reps. Get some of the guys that have had a lot of reps in games, get them some time to get freshen up. But at the same time, we got to continue to work on our fundamentals, our technique, and stay sharp on that so you don't lose the game speed aspect.
Sort of play off what Jody asked you a minute ago. It seems like several years ago there wasn't as much substitution on the offensive line. The explanation being we like 5 guys working together. Now there does seem to be a lot more. Is that just because you got more good players, or is the philosophy more, we need to sub there as much as anywhere?
I think it's a little bit of both. There is something about the continuity in a unit. The more times they can take snaps together, and I trust the guy that's next to me, and I don't necessarily have to say something, he knows what I'm thinking, I think there's a big part of that. But at the same time, the more we get other guys in and they play together and they're all on the same page and they're executing at a high level and there's a trust factor there that, you know, you feel confident in putting those guys in the game.
You run a play, it's a play, it's a formation. You've got 4 or 5 backs back there that are different. Is it different for the guys up front to block for Maurice, say, than Isaac or, you know, or Don, whatever? Is it different when there's a different back in there?
No, I think our approach is the exact same. I think at the end of the day, you gotta go execute the play that's called and we gotta go make it work, and that's, you know, you gotta do your job. You know, and I think that's a big part of it.